All right, everyone. Hi, thank you. Welcome back. Welcome to our last video analysis session together. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. We are going to finish up our defenders drill from last time. Again, we're going to try to keep it at an hour maximum, maybe a little bit shorter if we can go through quickly. If we all participate, ask questions, and answer questions. Okay. As the others get in, it's no worries. We are going to get right to it. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now. We are doing defending in zonal defense, literally focusing on the defenders in a zonal defense. We've done attackers in a zonal defense, then midfielders, and now we're focusing on defenders. Here we go. All right, so last time out, just a quick review. We had a few notes, a few things to remember. So first things first, we've discussed this a few times actually. We do not have the ball. The opposition has the ball. Their ball carrier, if he has time to pick up his head, that means he has way too much time on the ball, and that my defensive line, we have to drop. Now, if that player is being pressed, doesn't have time to pick up their head, that means we can move forward. Okay, that picking up the head is just a slight it's a reference for us. Okay, basically, it is if you know that the other team has an ability to go deep, has the ability to break lines, break that final line, you need to be ready for that by dropping. If you see that your team is moving up, your teammates are pressing the ball carrier, you need to move up with it so that we are reducing the space between our lines. Because if only the midfield line moves up and the defensive line stays back, they're going to receive the ball in that midfield, between the midfield and the defensive line. If we do not press that and we do not drop, that through ball is going in. We need to stop that right away. Okay, so those are the first 2 points we kept from last time. We had someone make the comment, see the ball in the field, keeping hips open. By that, we mean your goal is to consistently be able to see the ball and the field. There are 4 main reference points in soccer. Arrigo Sacchi, the great coach, said it. The soccer ball, the teammates, the opponents, and obviously the goals as well. You could say there are a few more than that, but if you include your goal, the opposition goal, you yourself, of course, your teammates, the opposition, and the soccer ball, there are about 6 there, okay? But those main reference points you've got to have at all times, okay? So next one up is stay close between the lines. We just mentioned it. Stay close between the lines. Why? We want to stop them from progressing, all right? The few ways to stop a team from scoring, stop them from progressing. That's one of them, okay? Next up, protect the middle. That's another way. We always know it. We always discuss it. That ball goal axis is the line from the ball to the goal. We have to have people in that axis, stop them from progressing, protect the middle at all costs. And we just mentioned it right there. The ball goal axis, we know what that is, okay? Ball goal axis protected at all times, all times. Next, we have move as a unit. Pretty self-explanatory. We said it in number 1. We said it in number 2. We said it in number 4, even in number 5 and 6, okay? Move as a unit. If we're shifting to the right, we're all shifting to the right. If we're shifting to the left, we're all shifting to the left. If we're moving up, we're all moving up. If we're moving back, we're all moving back, okay? Next up, and finally, compensation and balance, which really goes with the same idea of moving as a unit, okay? If this player moves here, we've got to move there. If let's say my right back pushes too far out wide, I might have to shift into the right. If my center back is covering for me and goes wide, I as a fullback have to go into her space to protect the space she liberated, okay? Very simple, very simple, very simple. Okay, so real quick, once again, when they have time on the ball, be prepared to drop. When they do not, we need to be pushing up together. See the ball and the field as much as possible. The 4 reference points that we have, the ball, the field, really the space, your teammates, and the opponents. Those are our main 4 reference points, though we can add a few more. Stay close between the lines, so we're moving as a unit. Protect the middle. That's where the goal is. So know where your ball goal axis is, the line from the ball to the goal, and make sure we're always compensating and balancing the team. All right? Now, let's get started right into individual imbalance. We talked a great deal about collective imbalance. We're going to talk now about individual imbalance. A midfielder is beaten by a dribble. So let's say that midfielder is beaten by a dribble. It was a 1v1. How do we react? Okay, so we have this 2 center backs and the 6. Okay, so the midfielder was beat by a dribble, and now it's center back versus the attacker. Okay, the other midfielder comes to cover. All right, boom, boom. So this player right here, in this scenario, the number 5 is beat by a dribble, and we have the number 4 who's going to come over and cover. That's what we're looking at. Okay. Again, this is an idea of compensating and balancing. This player was beat. If we stay here, this player is going to go through on goal by herself, and we're in trouble. If we stay here, it's a 1v1 right there. So we're coming in, we're closing that space, all right, to protect. We obviously have the 6 who's going to drop into space as well. Position, forcing the ball carrier to go wide. Why? Wide, because we want to protect the middle at all costs. All right, so let's start again. Watch slowly. There you go. Okay. Position, forcing the ball carrier to go wide. We're stopping the ball carrier from being able to cut in here with either a dribble or a pass because our 6 dropped into space here. And number 4 might not be able to take the ball, which is okay, but he's forcing the ball carrier to go wide, which is much less dangerous than being able to cut in. All right. And then we recover the ball there and either play it out or play it to a teammate. In this scenario, it was played out. All right. So this is a scenario where forwards are intelligent. They're switching position. They went from left to right to now they're going to. So we, as I should say, as center backs, have to decide: do I follow my attacker? Do I switch off? We discussed this earlier. We'll see if we still agree. So we're focusing on this one right here, the player in orange, the attacker in orange. They decide to make 2 movements. Okay, this one's coming here, and this one's going there. Boom. Okay. What do we do? What do these 2 players right here, they're our focus, our center backs, what do they do? Do they follow? Does this player come here and this player go there, or do they leave him off?
Follow.
Follow. So we think that, very good, Mari, we think that this player should come here and this player should go there with the player. Do we all agree with that? I personally would not agree. Okay, I would not agree because imagine you're a left-sided center back, okay, and your striker makes a run all the way to the other flank. Are you going to follow them and leave your space? No. What happens if we leave this space here? What is open? The middle. The middle is the area we want to protect. So it's okay if they can run. They can run all everywhere. We know that in the end, they want to come right back here to this big space right here. They want to come back to right that space in the middle. All right, so we know they're going to come back there. So we're going to let them make that run. We're just going to switch off. Not mentally, but switch off partners. See, there we go. The center backs pass off their players. That's what we're doing, okay? We no longer do what was called man marking before. Not as much, especially not with center backs. You do it for a few seconds, but if they leave your area, your region of defense, you switch off, you pass off your player, and you pick up the next one. So what it looks like is, okay, so this player is still defending someone, as is number 4. It's just a different someone in this case. But they know what their jobs are. They know that they have to defend the person right in front of them, but in priority, protect the middle at all costs. And that's what happened there. One last time. Boom. Now, let's say they switch behind the defensive line. In this case, it was in front, okay? They made their runs in front of these players. Now we're going to look at what happens if they make the runs behind the players. Could that potentially mean we need to do something else? So we're defending deep once again. We're trying to avoid being caught out. Here we go. Similar scenario. This time we do follow. All right. And I'm going to need to ask you guys why we follow. Why in this case does the number 5 follow their striker?
Because if they do a through pass, they can get past your defense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. In this simple case, that we're defending very, very deep, okay? Where they have advanced against us. And so if they complete this ball, as you were saying, this is a 1v1. This is a 1v1. The 4 won't be able to get there in time. The ball's already there. It's a 1v1. Number 5, this scenario is too dangerous for us to allow the player to go alone. This scenario is way too dangerous for number 5 to say, switch off for the number 4, come over here, boom, and then potentially leave an impasse there right there in the middle. So, as Mario was saying, if they make that run through ball, it's a 1v1 with the goalie. If the number 4 follows, it'll be too late. And this player will be open. Because if we're also looking, number 4, where's number 4 looking? Is number 4 looking over here? No, number 4 is looking at the direct opponent and the ball. So this run that's being made will be made behind her. She won't be able to see it. The runs that are made in front, like here, sorry about that. The ones that are made in front, like here, we can see. We see them. Runs that are made behind, if it's made intelligently, we might not see that run. And by the time we do see it, it'll be too late. So the number 5 has to follow, particularly because the run is made into the penalty box. And there we can't risk switching off. So different scenarios, okay? If the attackers are making cross movements in front of your back line, you're going to want to switch off. If they're making cross movements behind your back line, you're going to want to follow. That depends on the distance, of course. If they're going all the way to the corner flag and they're not receiving the ball, maybe not. Or if you put them outside, maybe not. But in most scenarios, you're going to want to follow in that case. It's the basic idea of it. Again, every case is unique. So, again, we follow here, receive the ball, and now we're able to defend. Showing them wide, as always, okay? Some of us would try to get to the ball by going around the player. This is very dangerous because if they get to the ball first, one quick turn, and boom, they're cutting inside. Show them wide. Very well done. Now, let's say we're defending high in this scenario. Do we keep on our player or do we switch? All right, so much higher. First things first, I think there's slightly awkward positioning, seeing how high we are. I think our goalie can come up much higher than that, okay? Even if we only have 7 outfield players in total, we don't have a full picture of everything. We have an idea. So our goalie is going to be higher than being exactly right into the penalty box, right into the goal box, I'm sorry. Again, push up, okay. So from here to here, this striker, we're looking at this movement here, checks in, okay. What do we do? Boom. Striker checked in. The number 4 did not follow. So we're following this player right here, that striker right there. Do we agree with the 4 not leaving the space here? Do we agree with the 4 not following this player there? I'll answer that myself then. If the number 4 follows this player into space, the dangerous space is here. It is now free, and all it takes is one run, one ball, one run, and they're in behind. Okay. Also, the simple fact that this player is not going to hurt us anywhere near as much as this player in behind. Okay. You have to almost pick your poison. In certain cases, you have to pick your poison. Is it harder to be attacked? Is it more dangerous for them to have the ball here or more dangerous for them to have the ball here? Obviously, it's the second one. So we're going to stop the harder pass, the more dangerous pass, and we're just going to let them keep the ball in their own half. That's fine with us. Okay, we switch off. And here it is. This is the part that's very, very interesting. Okay, this is exactly what we're alluding to earlier in the PowerPoint. This striker is being followed by the number 5. Notice how here it says the number 5 at first marks the player. I'm gonna put that in capital letters. At first marks the player during the run. Okay. During that first run in behind, the number 5 marks the player. But what were to happen if this number 5 went all the way across? This number 5 went all the way across with the red player. What would happen? Where's the free space now?
It leaves a
Where
gap.
the 5 was originally.
It leaves a gap, and the free space is where the 5 was originally. Absolutely. And all it takes is one ball there to this player here, and we're in the same very bad scenario. So this is very important. The number 5 at first marks the player during the run in behind. But then if the attacker is not played in immediately, the number 5 stops. Why? Why was the number 5 stop in this scenario?
To make them offside.
Put them offside, simply. That's answer number 1. To put them offside. Absolutely. Perfect. Now, if we were to be a little bit more subtle, another reason, these are both valid reasons, these are both very important. Something we need to remember is that the offside can be almost an extra defender or a trap for us if we use it well. What else is important? Let's say that number 5 follows, and not just because we don't want to put him off sides, but if the number 5 follows, we leave a gap, as we say. We also just make bigger the line between our players. And remember, when we do not have the ball, our goal is to be compact at all times. We want to keep ourselves compact. If we move here, this number 4 will be forced to move as well, and likely over here. So let's say they drop, there's too much space here. Let's say number 4 comes over here. It's going to be way too late to get there in time anyway. It's just, all right. So our 2 reasons are staying compact, putting them offsides. Boom. As you said, the forward is offside. So let's go and watch that from the jump. So run. Switches off the last set. Boom. Prepared. Well prepared. Now let's focus on the space in behind. I know we have quite a few strikers that like to use their pace and run in behind, and I know quite a few defenders hate that. How do we defend against that? How do we defend against a team that might look to play in behind as quickly as possible, whether it's over the top, whether it's on the ground, on the flanks, through the middle? How do we defend against that? Boom. Ball's in the middle. Look at that. We gave you the answer right here. Body orientation is hyper important. Hyper important, okay? However you are bodily positioned, that gives a message to the person on the ball as to what they can do, but also gives a message to your own teammates and to the opposition, okay? The people who don't have the ball. They know what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. They're anticipating. And that means you are also anticipating. You're anticipating that the ball can go one way, so you're prepared for that. Ball's on the side. Look at that. Look at that orientation, okay? Obviously, this player would have to now turn to see where the ball is, because we always want to have an eye on the ball, but also have a nice little eye, maybe a little hand touch on the player right next to us, okay? As if we go back to one more time to what we said at the very beginning, boom. See the ball and the field, all right? Keeping your hips open. That's what we said there. That's the same thing right here. Being able to see the ball and the field from there to there. And obviously this is going to include a lot of checking over the shoulder and scanning. We don't only do that when we have the ball or when we're about to receive the ball. We do that whether we have the ball, as in our team, or whether we do not have the ball, as in our team, okay? If I'm the ball carrier or not, I should be checking over my shoulder. If my teammates the ball carrier or not, I should be checking. They have the ball, I should be checking. Okay? Now we move there. I want you guys to pay close attention to the two center backs. These players right there. Let's pay close attention to them. And how they adjust depending on where the ball is. Before this pass is made, they're already adjusting. No. Now, let's say we're forced to run towards our own goal. Okay. What do we do? How do we adjust to being forced to run towards our own goal? Just basic, off the top of your head, you're running towards your own goal as a center back. What are you doing? How's your body? Are you running fast? Are you running slow? Are you close to your opposition? Are you far?
You're going to be fast.
You have to be as fast as possible. Okay, first, actually, that's a great point right there. Sometimes we'll see the ball go in here, and the attacker is going by themselves. All right, this player isn't going with them. The attacker is going by themselves, and this defender will go slowly, will jog to the ball. If you jog to this ball, you're giving time for the red team to push up, okay, or this attacker to push up and then press you. You want to get to that ball as quickly as possible to have time on the ball. So, yes, we're running quickly, all right? We make sure that we're able to check over our shoulder both ways, because if we get to the ball first, we can pass it back to our goalie, or we can pass it back to maybe a fullback who made it wide in time. Or if we're not able to get to the ball in time, if it indeed is a foot race, 1v1 between the two, we got to be able to orientate our opposition wide, okay? Got to be able to orientate our opposition wide at all times, okay? Now, moving on. We're moving fairly quickly today, guys. Defending versus the 1v2, okay? So, 1v2 is obviously an imbalance. It means that something has happened that has put ourselves at a disadvantage. It is a huge disadvantage. It is an imbalance. But soccer is one of those sports where if you are intelligently positioned, you can handle a 1v2 in certain scenarios. Checks in. Okay, so we're focused at the top here.
Excuse me, Mr. DaCosta?
Yes. Right.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but do you, is this the only meeting happening, or is there a different meeting for Youth 15 happening at the same time?
I believe there might be. I do not have the schedule. I'm sorry. I think they might have sent an email.
Yeah, because they sent an email. He just sends me to your Zoom workout, but I think it's not his team. So he's kind of wondering.
Oh, this is everyone. All the players of the club were invited.
Oh, so everybody was invited?
Yes.
Okay, so they can all participate?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much. I'm sorry. Thank you.
No problem. No problem.
All right, thank you.
All right, sorry about that, guys. So we're watching with the 1v1, and here it is. On a breakaway, this is the question. Who is more dangerous? Is it this player who has the ball or the left-sided striker over here? All right, you're the yellow player, the center back. Who is more dangerous?
It depends.
Okay. How so?
Well, because you're facing towards the person without the ball, and you can't see the person behind you. But if they were to pass the ball, then you face the other way, you turn around, then they already have a breakaway around you and they get to the goal.
Absolutely. Great point there. Okay. This orientation, players facing this way, it's very dangerous. All right, we're just gonna, that's what happened. It happens in a game. So I agree that in this case, this player is the most dangerous because we're facing the wrong way. Now let's say that we're facing, we don't know where we're facing. We're just in the middle here. Honestly, in your opinion, where do we think is the most danger? Not trying to be right, just trying to think. If you're in a game, where would you go? Would you want to protect this space or would you want to protect that space?
You want to protect the middle.
You want to protect the middle. Absolutely. I completely agree. If we were to stay here, we're giving her a direct line to the goalie. Granted, if we were to move here, we're allowing a pass in there as well. So now we're going to see what exactly the solution is. But Callie, that's absolutely correct. We want to protect the middle. When in doubt, protect the middle. Now we are able to intercede. So as you said, you made the point. You jumped ahead. Excellent. The body position was not correct. Turn in here. Yes, this is a bit far, but again, it's just a PowerPoint. Just give you guys an idea. Okay. Go here. All right. And also this body position is interesting because at any point she can turn around. Can't really see there, but can turn around to go over here. Whereas if she were directly facing this player here, basically with their body, their shoulders facing the ball, she'd have to be backpedaling, which is not a position you want to be in. You want to be 3/4 to be able to turn either way. So it's actually not a bad position, I should say. But here now, we're able to intercede. You're a bit closer to the ball player, all right? But you've also made the angle much harder to pass through. Yes, they can put the ball over the top, but I'd rather force them to put the ball over the top than to allow them an easy pass on the ground, all right? And a ball over the top gives you a little bit more time than a ball on the ground. You guys have all seen it. When you're doing a little chip and when you're hitting the ball hard on the ground, which is quicker, it's the ball on the ground. So starting here, our team is beat. I am now in a 1v2. What do? I orientate myself. I know that I have to protect the middle. I close off the angle. And then I make sure, there it is. I reduce that space and I show them wide as much as I can. And in this situation, I think you guys fairly know, depending on how much farther this player is ahead of the ball, the defender can either pass the ball back to the goalie. There's potentially a fullback out here or a winger here, or we can even kick the ball out as we saw earlier in the slideshow. Just going to look at this one more time now that we have a full idea of what we can do. So it does very well, handles the 1v2 very well in this scenario with relative distance and showing them wide, all right? What I really want to take away is what Callie said there. You protect the middle at all costs, okay? And the body orientation and protecting the middle are the key in this scenario. In most scenarios, actually. Everything in soccer is about how you position your body, where on the field, and knowing that you have to protect the middle, particularly as a center back. So we went from 1v2. Now we're going to see what happens in a 2v3. We're much slower on the field. Our goal here is not necessarily to recover the ball, but to stop them from progressing, and importantly, to stop them from shooting, preventing the shot. So they have somehow progressed up the field all the way to this point. We're not yet in the penalty area. We want to avoid them getting in the penalty area. We're not in a good position. We have less players than they do. How do we defend against this? Again, keep in mind that we want to protect the middle, but it is now a 2v1, 2, 3. 2v3. Do we agree with this movement here? No, number 5, pressing the ball carrier quickly. Do we agree with that? Let's say, what would happen if the number 5 does not press the ball carrier and stays on this player here?
They'll just get an open shot to goal.
Absolutely. We'll get an open shot to goal. So yes, the number 5 might be leaving this player here open to go and press the player in the middle, but that is much preferable to, that is much preferable to allowing an open shot, especially as we get older and we see people with more power and they're able to shoot from a distance. And in this case, they're right at the penalty area. So that is a free shot. That's a good shot for any player. Okay. But also what's very, very important is how she presses. It's how she presses. Okay. Doesn't press like this, allowing a free pass there. Doesn't press like this, allowing a free shot. Presses in a manner that, one, player cannot shoot. Two, it's a very difficult pass to get to there. And three is forcing the player to a side, but also for pressing them in a way that puts pressure on them. It's not a false or a simulated press. It's a full-on press. So watching it again, number 5 intercedes. Also, you can see number 5 is slightly higher than number 4, so that helps as well. It's on the front foot. Boom, gets there. And number 4 reacts quickly to close the pinch. All right, not just to close the pinch, but also for moving from there to there. What else are we doing? Going from there to there.
Blocking the pass.
Blocking the pass. So that's 2 things. We're closing the pinch, trying to recover the ball. 2, blocking the pass. And what's another one?
Making sure they can't shoot.
They can't shoot, what goes with the pinch. And lastly, that we're going to add, excellent, you guys are doing a great job today, is we're also putting them offside. So even if somehow the ball gets through, which it shouldn't, because as you said, they're blocking the shot and the pass, making sure nothing gets through. They're closing the pinch. Even if somehow it gets through because it goes through someone's leg, or it's the most ridiculous piece of luck, hits your shin, hits her shin, and then gets through, that is an offsides. So by simple pressing quickly, we cut off almost all possible opportunities at a shot or an assist. So well done there. We're going to look at that again. And now moving on to defending high. All right, so this is the basic same principle except much higher up the field. Earlier we said we want to slow their progress and prevent the shot. Here we are slowing their progression completely, but from much higher up the field. Okay. In this scenario, we're not trying to stop a shot because they're not going to shoot from the halfway line. We're just trying to stop the progression and give the rest of our team to drop back. In this scenario, it's a counterattack. We need to stop them from getting farther down. We don't need to recover the ball. We just need to stop them from getting near our penalty area. So the ball's in the middle. We already have a couple players beat. What do? Number 4 and number 5 are forced to drop, okay? Because if we try to do what we did earlier and press up here, that's very, very dangerous, because at least in this scenario, if they've tried to play the through ball, we have a goalie that is in there. That's the goalie's ball as well. Whereas here, we're very high up, and the goalie would have to be much higher up for us to risk that. Okay, it's also not worth it because, again, we're not trying to take the ball or we're not trying to stop a shot. We're simply trying to stop them from progressing. So our center backs drop. Obviously, their strikers are going to move forward as well because the goal is to go to goal. They're not going to just stay here for no reason. So they're going to move forward as well. So just so you know, guys, our center backs, by dropping, they're not just leaving their defenders. Okay, they know that the players are coming with them, so they'll still be marking them. It's very intelligent. You're letting someone else come into your space. You're dictating things in this scenario. Giving time for the number 6 to get back, and hopefully the number 6 is a good tackler. We have a good 6 in there, and boom, able to come back onto the ball carrier. Okay, because again, if we try to force it, we are putting ourselves in danger and taking an unnecessary risk in an unnecessary area. And obviously, the number 6 can get back because most of us are faster than someone who's dribbling with the ball. No matter how fast they are with the ball, most of us are faster without the ball. So in this scenario, the number 5 are very important. It's not just because the 6 did a great recovery tackle. It's because the number 4 and the number 5 allowed him to do a great recovery tackle. Look at this. This final part is very, very important. Number 6 recovers the ball when the number 4 and the number 5 are in the penalty box. And look where they are now. Boom. moving up immediately. But only once number 6 has confirmed possession. Only once they have confirmed possession. It's not a scenario of, I don't know if our player has it or their player has it. No, number 6 has possession. We move up immediately. Close that space, push them up, put the other team off sides, and now it's our turn to hit. So, one more. The 1-2 in the midfield. I love performing 1-2s. I hate defending against 1-2s. So how do we defend against 1-2s? I believe we looked at 1-2s in the midfield. Now we're looking at 1-2s, defending them as center backs. Come in, checks in. We, again, as we discussed, we are following our attacker in this scenario, not giving them time to free up space. The last thing we want is for them to receive the ball and be able to turn and attack us. Not there, at least. So we follow our attacker, form the 1-2. They're ready to go on the outside. They have the advantage because the number 6 was not ready, simply put. Okay, number 6 was still defending while the player was ready to run off. So now what do? What should number 5 do here in this scenario? The balls are going to come here. Should number 5 stay on this player, the striker, or should number 5 move on to the left winger? Or pick a space in the middle?
In the middle.
In the middle. All right, Bridget, well done. Let's see what it says here. Right about that. Right around the middle. Not in the middle as in no man's land, but in the middle as in I'm blocking off a pass here, but I'm also prepared to confront you and potentially even take the ball if I'm quick and agile enough, or in this scenario, intelligent enough, as you were there, Bridget. Well done. So, boom. One off. Some of us would say, I'm going to take this ball off. I'm going to be as aggressive as possible here. And you could either foul the player, or if you're a bit slow, the 1-2 is beat, and you're here trying to fight this player. No. The intelligent play is indeed pick your spot, pick your space, boom, and then force them wide. I know I've been saying that a lot today. You've probably been hearing force them wide, force them wide, force them wide. Well, the goal is in the middle, not out here wide, so we force them wide. And hopefully recover the ball and do something intelligent. Right? You can either pass the ball to the goalie if we trust our goalie. If our fullback makes it back, or a winger, or anyone, we might have to kick it out indeed, or we can even dribble it out ourselves, depending on the situation. All right, we're going to do this one as well. All right. About 5-10 more minutes, guys. Okay. So we've been looking at different attacking movements. We looked at attacker movements in front of our defensive line and attacking movements behind our defensive line. Let's look at it again. So this is almost basically a 1-2, really. We're looking at a 1-2 again, and we have to decide what to do. The number 4 drops back. So let's look at that one more time. Their 6 passes it to their striker. Okay. The striker passes back to the 6, and our center back drops back. Why would our center back drop back instead of staying here? Any ideas? So our center back drops back because, all right, let's say, why would it be a bad idea to push up here? Well, you're leaving this space open. You have a run there as well. Or simply put, this player can just turn you and go right there. Also, it's much harder to jog back, sprint backwards, than to sprint forwards. So if this player needs to push up, it's much easier to do that than to say, once again, so sorry about that. It's much harder to say, let me go back than to go forward. So in this scenario, we want our player to be able to go forward than have to be forced to go back. So again, center back presses and then drops off because That's where the goal is as well. So all those reasons come into play. Now, let's say we're running towards the goal. We don't want to run towards our goal because that means we do not have the ball and they are attacking us. But we have to do it. It's a part of the game. Okay. It's not like volleyball where one team's on one side, one team's on the other side, and we're able to dictate and play it there. Things are all meshed and messy in soccer. We have to be prepared at all times. Volleyball, great sport, by the way. So running towards the goal. How do we defend? What areas do we need to defend? Well, let's say this player is going to cross the ball in. I need you to give me one area that we're going to have to defend.
The middle.
Front,
Okay, I heard middle. And what else?
front post,
Front post. Okay, well done.
Back post.
Back post. All right, let's see it then.
The player
Boom.
kicking the ball.
The player kicking the ball. All right. So we're going to say that our fullback is somewhere near. Okay. We don't have it there, but we're going to say that. All right. So front post, middle. All right. We don't want to pass the near post. Why would we not want to pass the near post? Let's say we pass the near post there. Boom. We have a player coming in there. And what's really important is even if the ball comes in near post, it's the same thing. It's easier to attack this way than have to, I don't know, I'm here and back pedal to try to get back here. So as you guys said, in this scenario, we're protecting really the near post and the middle. We're protecting the near post and the middle. If somehow the ball goes straight to the near post without us being able to get there in time, our goalie is going to cover that. So absolutely, you guys got the front post and the middle here. Okay. One player is defending two of the most important zones in the penalty area. And then, as we said, as always, we cannot keep our eyes solely on the crosser. It goes back to what we said towards the beginning. We have to be able to see everything. We have to be attentive of everything. So this player's got to know, this center back has got to know where the striker is at all times, this one as well, our goalie as well, okay? And then look at that, boom, already protecting the back post while defending as well, okay? One thing we want to do, one thing that's really hard about defending a cross or even a corner is we want to protect space, but we also have to be very cognizant of where our direct opponent is. All right, and that's where the zonal marking versus man marking idea comes in. Do I mark this player right here, or do I protect the zone depending on who might come in? She might come into this area here, so I got to be able to head the ball before she does, or do I chase her around? In this scenario, we're protecting the zone and defending a player at the same time by positioning ourselves intelligently, okay? We're not all the way up here because that's not very dangerous, not compared to a player being here, all right? We'd much rather be in the middle and able to move, okay? And then, of course, pick an open player as that ball is being crossed in. Again, once again, we're assuming that their fullback is somewhere near, okay? It's not necessarily a free cross in because otherwise they would likely dribble the ball in, okay? And then hopefully we are strong in the air. If it's in the air, we're intelligent and clever on the ground if the ball's on the ground. I'm assuming in this case it's on the ground because we kept possession of the ball and we're able to play it out. I want to go through that one more time. Okay, the ball's played out wide, okay? We were able to drop back, and they said, okay, fine. We'll play the ball out wide to here, okay? That's all right. Now what do? We start running towards the goal. As you said, we got to have back post ready because I know I yell at my team offensively to be ready for that back post cross. We have to protect the near post. We have to protect the middle. We don't always have enough players. So can we do 2-in-1? In this scenario, the number 4 can. We can say that she's in the middle, so she's protecting the middle. But by her body orientation and her positioning, she can, in half a second, protect the near post as well. Okay? So that's what we see there. And then as the ball comes in, we've got to make sure we're not only keeping an eye on the crosser, because if we're watching the ball, we say never ball watch. We're watching the ball. We're not seeing the runs other players are making. And then, boom, we got to make sure we do in the end pick an open player, okay? It's all well and good to say, I'm going to protect this area here, but the ball gets there quickly enough. Doesn't matter what area you're protecting if they have the ball in the penalty box, okay? And then we are strong in recovering the ball. All right. I think, oh, all right, we'll finish with defending in the air. We'll finish with defending in the air. About 5 slides. Okay. Boom. Oh, we already discussed this. So do we move forward or do we move back? The ball's in the middle. We attack the ball. All right. We drop back first. Why do we drop back in this scenario? Instead of being here, why do we drop back? Any ideas? We've mentioned it a couple times. The ball carrier has time on the ball. All right, that means we want to drop back. We want to anticipate the deep ball. But also because let's say we stay up here and the ball goes past us. Do we want to chase the ball or do we want to be in a scenario where, oh, the ball is here and we can attack the ball? Do we want to chase the ball or do we want to attack the ball? In a game, would you rather attack the ball in front of you or chase the ball behind you? I would say attack. I'd rather, especially as a center back, ball's coming this way. I want to be able to attack it with my head, with my chest, whatever. I want to be able to attack it instead of the ball going over my head. And now, once again, we're running towards goal. The person behind me, the opposition behind me, is running towards the ball and the goal as well. I'd rather attack the ball. So we drop back at first. We drop back at first. And then we can move forward to attack the ball. Of course, if we read the trajectory of the ball well. And boom. Where should number 5 go? I think you guys know the answer. We got to cover. We got to cover. As this ball is going deep, our number 5 is there to cover. Because if this number 5 stays too high, what if the ball goes past? What if the ball goes there? Okay, so number 5 covers. And there we have it. Okay, guys. All right, that was our session. I try to keep it very, very short today, about 45 minutes. This was our last session. Thank you guys for joining. You guys have been very, very loyal and very, very intelligent. And I think I've learned a lot, at least from the beginning. You guys have spoken so much more and seen a great few things. Thank you once again. I will be putting this up on YouTube as our last session. You guys have been awesome. Make sure you're doing your other virtual sessions, but not staying on Zoom too much. Take a break if you need it. I know you guys are excited to get back out on the field. I am as well. Hopefully that happens soon. Stay well, guys. See you guys. Thank you very much.